Welcome to today's episode. In this episode, we will see how you can manage resources with Azure Portal and Azure CLI. We'll cover how to efficiently manage and navigate resources using Azure Portal and Azure Command Line Interface, that is your Azure CLI. So let's get started. Navigating Azure Portal for resource management. That will be the first topic. Well, it provides you a user-friendly interface because it is GUI, graphical user interface. Everyone loves it. Here, the Azure portal offers a very user-friendly web interface to manage and monitor Azure resources. Then Azure also provides a lot of dashboards, or you can also customize your own dashboard to view important metrics, resources, and alerts all in just one place. This portal also helps you to search for a resource. Here you can type the name of the resource you need and you can easily search for that specific resource or even groups and subscription. And you can do it across your environment. You don't have to go to a specific place for a specific resource. No, just from the portal on top, if you search for a specific resource, you will get it. Resource groups and subscription. Well, you can manage resource groups and subscription with options to create, update, and delete resources directly from the portal. So if you go to your portal and you want to delete a resource group, it is very easy. It only requires few clicks. Now, using Azure CLI for resource management operations. Well, the first one is command line interface. You need to understand that Azure CLI is also a very powerful tool for managing resources via, of course, command lines on your local machine. Or if you don't want to use your own laptop or your PowerShell on your laptop, you can also use Azure Cloud Shell. If you go to your portal, on top there's a button which will take you to Azure Cloud Shell. It basically provides you a CLI environment. Resource management. Well, you can use simple commands to create, update, and delete resources like VM, storage accounts, and more. All it takes is the proper syntax and a proper command sequence. Cross-platform. Well, this is CLI. So it works across Windows, macOS, and Linux, making it very flexible tool for different administrators or different users in most environments. It can be used for automation and scripting. Well, you can use CLI to automate repetitive tasks and improve efficiency by writing scripts for resource management. Then we have interactive mode. Well, you can use Azure Cloud Shell for an interactive or very user-involved experience with both CLI and PowerShell. It's a very nice layout which Azure provides to you. And you can also switch back and forth from CLI Bash or PowerShell. You can also minimize that Cloud Shell if you want to go back to your GUI interface. So Azure did a great job there. Let's go to our lab and try to create some resources from both your local machine with the help of PowerShell or CLI. Then we will use Azure Portal, that is your GUI interface, and we will also try your Azure Cloud Shell. So I will see you in the lab now. All right, now let's check out Azure CLI. So now as you can see in my portal, I don't have any resource group. And also I don't have any resources. That is obvious. And instead of using the GUI, we will use Azure Cloud Shell. So on top, you will click on Azure Cloud Shell and the bash terminal will load. It might take maybe 10-15 seconds, but you have to wait for the terminal to load properly. Now, we have to create a resource group. So let's create one. So AZ group create. Location will be UK South and the name will be NCOTRG. If you want a different location, you can always go back and change it. So this is the command to create a resource group. All right, my resource group is now created. Now next we will create a virtual network. But before that, I will show you the resource group. Here we go. So NCOTRG is there. Now let's use or paste the command for a network, which is just a resource. So AZ network VNet create. Address prefix will be class B, not public IP, private IP. 172.16.0.0/16 will be the CIDR. The name for the VNet will be NCOT or NCOT VNet, and the resource group will be called NCOT RG. You have to put the same resource group, otherwise the dependency will not be there. If you change the resource group over here, Azure will not create a new resource group for you. The resource group must be there already. Then the subnet. The name for the subnet will be there, and also what will be the prefix of the subnet. Again, 172.16.0.0/24, which will be a smaller part of this portion. So let's go ahead and hit enter and create this VNet. So right now it's running, and Azure will create a network with just one subnet shortly. All right, so it's done, and now we can check that. And here we go. Our VNet is here. Now let's delete it. Again, you have to put the command on the CLI and it will be deleted. By the way, you can delete the network first and then the resource group. Or if you delete the whole resource group, your network will be gone anyhow. So it depends according to your situation. I will delete the network first. So AZ network VNet delete. Resource group will be there and the name of the network. So it will now terminate or decommission the network. Once this is done, then we can move ahead and also delete our resource group. So as you can see, it is done. If I refresh it, yes, the network is gone. Now it's just a resource group. But remember, when we create our virtual network, another resource group is automatically created. That is network watcher RG. So we have to delete both. So AZ group delete, name will be there, and do you want to delete it? Yes. So I'll go ahead and run this command. It's gone. And now we can also change this to delete the second resource group, that is network watcher. Resource group. Oh, I have to enter the right name. Now let's delete it. So network watcher is also gone. If I refresh, it's still there, but remember, we already pushed the commands, so ARM can take some time to delete the resource. So if you push the command, the resource might not be deleted immediately. Specifically for resources like VPN gateways, firewall, they take even more time. All right, now let's create Azure resource and resource group, but using PowerShell. So I'll go back to my Azure portal. I'll show you that I don't have any resource group. It's a blank slate. I'll click on the Cloud Shell icon. And if you are actually connected to, let's say, Bash, don't worry. On top, you can click on Switch to PowerShell. So now Azure will authenticate you and connect you with PowerShell. So let it do its thing. Wait for it. And now we can start. So the first task is same as the previous demo. We will create a resource group. All right, the command is new AZ resource group. Name will be ncot.rg. Location will be UK South. So mostly the syntax are same. There will be slight changes, but the end result will be exactly the same. So now let's create our virtual network. But before that, let's see if the resource group is there or not. Yes, the resource group is there. Okay. Now let's move to networking. Now for networking, the command will be, first, we have to define the virtual network parameters. So I mentioned it there. And the name will be there, ncot vnet. Resource group must be the same one, which we created already. Location is there, UK South. And the address, I'm using class B again, 172.16.0.0/16. And then we will create a virtual network connector, right? Because this virtual network also need subnets. So later on, we will create a subnet. Name will be ncot sub. Virtual network will be the network we created, so we mentioned it here. So this value will be fetched by Azure automatically from this variable. And all right, this is done. And the address will be 172.16.0.0/24. And at the end, we will connect our subnet with our network. So let's check if it is created or not. Here we go. We have our subnets and our VNet. Yeah, subnet is also there. Now let's remove it. To remove the command is pretty straightforward. Remove AZ virtual network. Name is this one, and this network is inside this resource group. So you have to confirm. I'll say yes, and it will be removed. It might take some time, so wait for it, maybe like 10-15 seconds. And it's done. Now let's remove the resource group. So the command is remove Azure resource group, and you have to mention the resource group name, and that's it. If you force it, it will not even ask you for permission. It will just remove it. And if there are some resources like virtual machine, hard drive, yes, it will delete everything in this resource group. Now let's also do it for network watcher. So I will repeat the command, and I will change it for network watcher. I'll refresh it. Let's click on it. Yeah, this confirms actually the command is working, and the network watcher resource group will be deleted shortly. So that's how you use your PowerShell. All right, now let's see how we can install this Azure module in command prompt or PowerShell within our computer, not on Azure platform. So I'm not talking about the Cloud Shell. I'm talking about your own personal laptop. Remember, PowerShell and command prompt on your laptop do not know Azure commands. So if you start typing Azure syntaxes, your PowerShell or your command prompt will simply say that, hey, I cannot recognize these commands. So you have to install those modules. The modules will have the set of all the possible syntax or commands. It's like you're teaching PowerShell or command prompt a new language. So for that, I'm using a sandbox. So this is actually a non-persistent machine. And I will go ahead and open command prompt. And I will also open PowerShell. Let's log in via command prompt. So I typed AZ login. It's simply saying that AZ is not recognized by
this command prompt. AZ means nothing. So the module is not installed. Let's do the same thing for command prompt. Sorry, not command prompt, PowerShell. Connect AZ account. Again, not recognized. So in both cases, this module is not installed. So I'm going to minimize the PowerShell. Let's focus on command prompt only. So let's go to our browser and search for Azure CLI MSI download. So basically, we have to install this package. Install the Azure CLI for Windows. That is what we need. Okay. So do you want the MSI package? Yes, I want to install it. So I will download it. Then move to the latest version. I will install the 64-bit architecture. We are all using that. Wait for the download to complete. All right, it is done. So let's open the file. I don't need this anymore. Let's go to our downloads and simply install this package. Before you do that, I recommend to close any command prompt session which is open. Let's run the installer, accept the EULA or the licenses, and install it. Almost there. Once it is installed, there is no reason to actually restart your system. You don't have to do that. And anyhow, I cannot restart my machine. This is a sandbox. It will forget everything. Remember, it's a non-persistent machine. All right, it is installed. Click on Finish. Let's open the command prompt again. So there. Now, if you want to verify if it is installed or not, you can run the command az version. And if it shows you the version, that means this module is there. It is installed. So we can go ahead and connect with our Azure account. To do that, you will just type az login. Now you still have to, give your credentials. You have to authenticate yourself. So you will just go ahead and do that. In my case, it is actually a work account. So I will go ahead. I will put my credentials here. No, I don't want to allow my organization to manage this device. I don't want to register my device. I just want to log in. No, sign into this app only. So it is retrieving your, not your, my subscription information, and here we go. We are logged in. So now I can actually communicate with my ARM, Azure Resource Manager. I can push my templates, I can create or delete the resources. I can manage it, basically. So that is how you do it on command prompt. Now let's move to PowerShell. So for PowerShell, the first command you have to execute is set execution policy that will be remote signed, and scope will be the current user, that is me, who actually logged in. And I will say A means yes to all. The next will be to install the Azure module. So I will type install module, that is Azure. It will ask you, do you want to install all of it or just some sections of it? I will just say yes. And you may have to wait for it because it has to first download the module and then install it. And you will be able to see the progress on top as well. All right. So downloading is done. It's right now installing it. So download the package and install it. As you can see, it goes very fast. So At the moment, please do not close the session, just let it be and let it finish. All right, it took me at least 15 minutes. So it took 15 minutes for this to actually complete. So maybe in your case, it might take less time, more time. I don't know. But please, you have to wait for it. You cannot just close it and rerun it. All right, so the module is installed. We can move ahead. Now let's verify if the module is there. Okay. No result. We can also try to connect with it. It should work if it is, yeah. So module is installed properly. It is there, and we can now connect. And it should load our subscription. Perfect. So that's how you actually use your PowerShell to administer, manage your Azure environment. Remember, you have to do this only once. Now the module is there until unless you remove it. And whenever you come back to your PowerShell, the PowerShell will remember the commands. It will just work.
Welcome back. I hope now you know how easy it is to actually use the graphical interface. But remember, graphical interface may introduce some glitches here and there, or it might refresh, but CLI gives you a more consistent option here. I have used graphical interface for quite a time now. I can tell you that there are like some times, like there are some times like when you will get weird glitches. Sometimes you fill the whole template and by mistake the whole screen is refreshed. You have to start it again. With CLI, my experience is much better. But here, I already have scripts ready. I just copy it, make some changes, and paste it and run it. Now we can summarize this episode. So in this episode, we already explored how the Azure Portal provide a much more user-friendly way to manage resources. And on the other hand, how Azure CLI offers a command line option for efficient and automation for your resource operations or creation. So thank you for joining this episode. I will see you in the next one. Take care.